Good evening, everyone. I hope you can all hear me right till the back. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. Some of you are faces I remember from my childhood. I grew up in a home where how to make India's tourism story better was a dining table conversation because my father was also in the tourism industry and many of you knew him. So thank you, Mr. Berry, for calling me to moderate this conversation. We have about 30 minutes, so I'm going to request the panel to keep their comments short and maybe we'll manage to squeeze in some questions from the floor as well. I think Kishore already framed the heart of the conversation. There's no point when we talk about tourism in improving one or the other facet of India, right? Whether you look at aviation or you look at hotels or you look at amenities, there's an interconnectedness at the heart of it. And before I actually come to Navin to talk a little bit about his book, Aman, you wanted to talk about the interconnectedness and the joining of the dots. So let's start with you. Let's start with each of you giving one takeaway that you had from reading the book, and I'll give the last comment then to Mr. Berry. Go ahead, Aman. Yeah, that's a great point actually about the analogy, Rajiv, with the highways. That when you put your mind to something, the infrastructure story of India has been pretty great when you look at it in terms of the state of airports, the state of roads, and if you actually think of it as something that benefits the political economy, creates jobs, not just as a niche area that you're having a tourism discussion. Rajiv, you've been in one way or the other in the space of branding India to the world with arts, with textiles, with so much of our sort of heritage, as it were. What's holding us back? This book, obviously you've had a ringside view of what's been happening in this space for so many years. The one thing that everybody seems to agree on is a kind of holistic approach. There have been many ideas from this stage itself: a nodal officer, a nodal ministry, someone from the trade and government, air charters between forts and wildlife sanctuaries. If there was one thing, if you were given a magic wand and you were asked change one thing, you have the power to change one thing immediately, what would that be?